Salutations, respected viewers. This is George from Ireland. Here I am in London on Jermyn Street, and this street is synonymous with gentlemen's outfitters selling suits and other formal clothing. You can see various jacket and tie combinations at Harvey and Hudson behind me. So Jermyn Street, it's spelled J-E-R-M-Y-N, but pronounced German as in somebody from Germany. So I'll show you a few more as you go along. So if you are here and you want to buy suits, shirts, ties, things of that nature, this is the street to come to. There are other streets like Savile Row, which are also known to have plenty of fine outfitters. So, often family names of whoever owns these places. Paxton and Whitfield, Crockett and Jones, so selling shoes, and I can tell you, they don't come cheap. But if you want to be well shod, you can get these shoes, some of them handmade, you know, to your size, but they should last a lifetime. Alright, these things here will cost a pretty penny, but there are sales on. Come in January. January sales really start Boxing Day, that's 26th of January, or St. Stephen's Day as we'd say in Ireland. But the January sales, they do continue right to the end of January. There are such bargains to be had, but obviously there are fewer items on sale because they've been snapped up. Hackett, which is a more modern version of gentleman's clothing, but you know, perhaps some people think it's not quite so plush. It's a bit too nouveau, it's a bit too brash. And here's another example. So we could go into one of the arcades. Okay, here's Pink. Pink sells shirt because James Pink founded it. And pink shirts always do have at least a tiny bit of pink on them. Okay, so we'll have a look at Loke shoemakers. So very few of them are actually made in the United Kingdom. They might be made in China, so on, but sold here. So they're pricey, partly because they have to pay these very hefty rents for such a prestigious address. So they will all look beautiful, and they have this cachet to them, purchasing these things. So if you want a suit, this is the place to come. There's plenty of choice, but they don't come cheap. Jermyn Street. And here we come to the back of Fortnum & Mason. Fortnum & Mason, which sells food, tea, things like that. Two of Queen Anne's servants set it up in 1707. So Jermyn Street, it's parallel to Piccadilly. So by tube you'd come to Piccadilly Circus, possibly Hyde Park Corner, or indeed Green Park. And should you wish to take a nibble whilst you're out on your shopping trip, come to a place like this. They don't always have outside tables, but the weather is clement at the moment, and we're going to pass Alfred Dunhill. So Dunhill is it's a gentleman's outfitters, but they certainly used to sell high-end tobacco. And we're not quite sure if they do anymore, because smoking the priciest sort of tobacco went with a certain image. So British people, well, have a certain way of dressing. Some people dress dreadfully. I'm one of them. Tourists in London, I can often tell from 100 paces which nationality they are, judging by their garb. Alright, we're going to see Beau Brummell. So here's a statue of Beau Brummell, who's the one who started to put the United Kingdom on the map as a fairly stylish place to be. So he's 18th century into the early 19th century, came from an upper class family who went to Eton, and this is him. He's the one who said that a gentleman shouldn't dress loudly. It should be understated elegance. And that's what British style is like. The suits are often not too bright. They'll be charcoal grey or indeed navy blue. Rarely actually black. They're black morning suits, black dinner jackets, but suits otherwise no, only actual black at a funeral. So we'll go through Burlington Arcade, and should you need a shave, you can go to Taylor of Old Bond Street. We're not actually on Bond Street, but Bond Street's a little bit similar. It's got a lot more jewellery. Okay, so we'll go through Burlington Arcade. An arcade for us means a covered walkway with lots of different shops in it. This is locked late at night. Okay, New and Lingwood, you'll also find them on Eton High Street. And this is some of the displays of New and Lingwood. You see up top, Floriato Toner, up above my finger, the Eton's coat of arms. We'll go closer in. So there you can see the three lily flowers of the Blessed Virgin Mary, because Eton's full name is the King's College of Our Lady of Eton, beside Windsor. you'll see the gold line on the red field for England. You'll see the fleur de lis of France, because Henry VI, who founded the school, was the only man to effectively rule both England and France. Well, for a substantial period of time. There were other people who ruled it for kissing time. Okay, so a few silk waistcoats and a cape. Some of these ladies' outfits. So this is what you can find in Burlington Arcade. It being a Sunday, it's all closed, but at least you can walk through. You can window shop here, and I'll show you a little bit about what's on the other side. So this is some British style. These are rather garish, these outfits. I suppose they're designed to be eye-catching, but some people would say that these are a bit yuck. What do you think? Okay, so plenty of foot gear for you, whereas this other one I'm about to show you, Deacon and Francis, is selling mainly cufflinks, as in to keep your cuffs together. You can have them in your coat of arms, your national flag, your school flag, whatever. And this one is selling military memorabilia. Oh, it's even got a portrait of Prince Philip, as in the Queen's husband. So, morning suits, they're what people wear to weddings sometimes. They might wear a black morning suit to a wedding. So a morning suit is for something that begins in the morning or indeed the afternoon. If an event begins in the evening, you wouldn't wear that. So if an event begins in the morning, carries on into the evening, a morning suit is fine. If it begins in the afternoon, carries on in the evening, again, a morning suit is acceptable, but not if the event actually begins in the evening. Then you might wear a lounge suit. A lounge suit would not have stripes, or indeed a dinner jacket. They said dinner jacket. Black tie means dinner jacket. There's white tie, which is the very formal version of evening wear, and that's a tailcoat with a low-slung waistcoat, and so on, a white bow tie and a white starched shirt with stick-up collars, and you can see there's some very snazzy shoes in there. So this is what Burlington Arcade is about, just off Jermyn Street, and razors, shaving cream, things like that to buy. Ooh, and if you're into waistcoats, this is the place to come. A lot of silk waistcoats. Some people think that these are overstated and vulgar. I think they're all right, actually. Other people say, no, don't buy a shiny material. Okay. And here's another one selling various suits, jackets made to measure. They had the Cambridge University coat of arms on the door of Benson and Clegg over here, but they just opened the door, so I can't show it to you. Luggage, and it's a Milner's, as in they're selling hats. Top hats are pretty pricey, about 300 quid a pop. Of course, you have them made to measure, in which they'll be several times that, and some more casual wear shirts and the like. And I'll show you some shoes behind. So some people think brown shoes are not the done thing, but it depends where you are, what the event is, and shoes should always be lace-ups unless you're actually right beside the sea. Okay, and then more things to wear whilst you snooze. If you really want to be stylish whilst you're a kip, this is the thing to buy. And if you're very particular about removing the follicles from your kisser, that's the place to go. So that is one of the arcades here just off Jermyn Street. I could go down Jermyn Street and show you more and more, and we've walked all the way through to Piccadilly. It's never called Piccadilly Street, just Piccadilly, which leads on to Piccadilly Circus. But in the evening, this is locked, little gates. You can't even actually walk through to browse. Piccadilly Arcade, sorry, Burlington Arcade is opposite. So across Piccadilly, behind me, that's Burlington Arcade, through the archway, and there are many similar shops, gentlemen's outfitters. So that is a whistle-stop tour of Jermyn Street and where to buy all your fanciest clothes if you're here in London and a gentleman. There are a few ladies' suits, blouses, things like that.